Good morning, Akash. Welcome to Leaders in Libraries Season 2.
Good morning, Rajiv. Always my
Have you
pleasure.
been?
So far, so good. I suppose I had a very good start to the day. My
Ah,
typical 5 a.m. routine. Woke up at 5 a.m., did my pocket of 2020, which I suppose we'll talk more in today's discussion. So, had a very awesome start to the day. And again, looking forward to our session.
Lovely, fantastic. I'm also so excited to get started on the powerful book that you have chosen that we're going to talk today on. Before we do that, let me have the honor of introducing you to the audience. So, good morning, everyone. Whichever part of the world you are, good afternoon, good evening, wishes as per the place that you are in. All of you witnessed 33 powerful leaders coming and talking on 22 books in season one. Season 2, we have 40 leaders coming in, and today we have yet another guest, Mr. Akash Srivastava, Vice President, Field Operations for Schindler India. He comes with a decade plus of experience across Southeast Asia, Africa, and Indian subcontinent, has managed leadership positions and driven and run multiple billion-dollar projects across the organization towards the growth. And he is also a man of tremendous rigor, which is what I would articulate based on the conversation I had with Akash. Uh, he's also an awardee winner of a global award from Schindler for his contribution on an innovative way for the organization. Beyond all this, he is a book lover, and all of you can see the stack of books behind him. And today we're going to talk about one powerful book, which when he picked, I had all smiles with my lips going and touching the ears of my end of my ear. So thank you so much for doing that, Akash. Uh, Welcome on board.
Again, all my pleasure, Rajiv. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, it's always lovely to have book lovers like you, Akash. I think you're doing a great job by joining the force. All right. So before we delve deeper into the book of the day, I'm going to start with the first interesting question. I'm going to rub my hands a little bit and create some heat
Mhm.
there. How early did the association of books start in your life?
I think Rajiv, you will be surprised to know that I have not been a very avid book lover. In fact, if you look at my school career, like throughout, it has been always in Roman Catholic schools,
Mm-hmm.
and in Roman Catholic schools, English literature is, I suppose, is a must-have. You should be very strong in English literature, but I don't know what was the reason. Like I never had that. Love for the books. Like I always read books because it was just like a medicine for me.
Mm-hmm.
So even in my school days, if I had to pick up a Shakespeare, Charles Darwin, Robert Frost, or Thomas Hardy, it was just because it was a library period, and I had
Mm-hmm.
to go to the library and pick up a book from the shelf there. When I got into my engineering from IIT, again I had a pile of books, and again I had to read the pile of books just because I had to get good grade, pass my engineering with honors.
True.
And I suppose then when I was doing my MBA and then I got into my first job, I was told that Akash, you must read as many business books as possible, as many business magazines as possible. But somewhere I did not get that feel from inside. So it
Mm-hmm.
was again like a medicine. So just I was doing it just for the sake of it.
Mm-hmm.
And but I suppose my life took a turn for better. It was, I
Mm-hmm.
suppose, April last year. It was actually during a conversation with one of my mentors or coaches, whatever you want to call him, and he actually said, Akash, this is actually a life changing opportunity. Like in this whirlwind of operations, field operations, or business life, you will never get a chance like this to really invest on improving your self growth or invest on your self development. So
Okay.
please don't let go of this opportunity. And I think, and then he again said, so I asked him, so what shall I do? He said, Akash,
Mm.
try to read books. I said, oh, again books. Again, I know I like books is very important for your self growth development, but it doesn't come very natural to me. But then I said, okay, let me again try out this time. And I
Mm.
don't know what changed in me. I suppose in all these years. So it was in the month of April that I said, okay, let me just try finding a life changing book, probably something which can probably create some curiosity inside me and
True.
probably change me for the
True.
better. And then that's how I came across this 5 a.m. club. And the beauty of this book was not only it cultivated lifetime habits in me, I
Mm.
suppose it's triggered something really inside me, which actually started my habit of reading books. And I
Yeah.
can very proudly tell you today that most of the books that you see behind me, 90% of these books have been bought over last 10 to 12 months. Okay. I have read 16 books in the last 10 months. And these 16 books I have read not for the sake of it, but because I really, really enjoyed reading them. And I suppose my life is set for time to come. So because
Lovely.
if anybody asks me, Akash, what present do you want on your birthday? What present you want on your anniversary? Or what, like any occasion, I say, please give me books. So I don't know what triggered, what was the spark which
Look at
happened,
that. Look at
but
that.
something good has happened for the better.
Fantastic. When you said 16, 1 6 or 60?
1 6, one
That's
six.
fabulous. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm very happy to tell you that last 10 months, I read 26 books.
Oh,
So
okay.
read more than
Even
you.
better. Yes. But I think I will catch up. I will catch up.
One small help. After this call, send me a couple of pictures of those books behind you.
I suppose all the best books in the world are on this shelf. Yeah. So anybody who's a
Then I
good,
definitely want to
yeah,
pick off that after the
sure,
call.
sure, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
fantastic. So which means the books happened early, but the interest for the books happened as early as 1 year back, which is so interesting in your life, Akash. That's
Correct,
very, very nice.
correct.
Right?
So I'm actually happy it took me 35 years rather than my lifetime to realize
Mhm.
the importance of books.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm so happy. So tell me, Akash, uh, what made you pick this book of all the books?
Again, I think I will say it was serendipity, something a good thing which happened by coincidence. So I just went on to Google. I said top. I typed best-selling books, and I got a list of a lot of them. But I suppose the cover page about this, the cover page actually said, okay, this is something going to be special. Plus, I think there was again a trigger. I think a lot of times why you make a certain selection is very difficult to describe. Yeah, because I had a whole lot of books in front of me to choose from, but I suppose the title attracted me, the 5 a.m. Club, because I always felt that I was always rushing into my day. There's so many distractions. I
Mm,
want to accomplish so many things, but I never had that me time that I was looking for. So the
right.
title, when I looked at it, 5 a.m. Club, I said maybe let me see if there's anything scientific to 5 a.m. Club. Like a lot of people talk about, lot of my elders say they wake up at 4:30. Like I have never thought I will ever wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning. I have never done this in the past. I don't believe I can do it today, but out of curiosity, let me see what this thick book is all about. Because
Mm,
how
mm.
can Robin Sharma have so much to write about something for a topic as simple as 5 a.m. Club?
True, true. Very interesting. Such a lovely one, right? So let's start getting into the book and talk about the couple of things that Robin talks about in this book. The cover of the book itself has this powerful phrase which says, "Own your morning, elevate your life." What powerful words
Correct.
could have been chosen by the author, right? How do you see this
Absolutely.
philosophy, and how deeply do you believe in it, and why so?
I suppose I have actually practiced this. So the reason I believe in this philosophy because I have practiced this and I have actually seen a visible change in my behavior, my output, and I suppose my overall lifestyle.
Mhm.
And like as I mentioned before, like before I read this book, my day was a complete, what do you say, mess. Like let's say I used to wake up at 6:30, 7:30 meetings used to start, and then everything was jumbled up. So it was more about me doing urgent things other than important things.
Mm, mm,
Plus there was hardly any me time for me to develop on, like invest on my self development, self growth, family connections.
mm,
Hardly had any time for family
mm,
connections,
mm,
no time
mm,
to work out. I think it was just like going back in circles every single day of the week, month, and the year.
mm,
And I suppose when I started practicing this, the 5 a.m. Club, I from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., those 2 hours, complete silence in complete solitude. I think, in fact, there's also a scientific reasoning why 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. is actually your victory hour. So Robin Sharma says 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. is actually the victory hour, where I suppose physically, mentally, in fact, at all levels, you are best tuned to accomplish the best version of yourself. So,
right.
by controlling my morning, I actually found out I can control my entire day. In fact, it's not only about the morning. You pick up any walk of life, be it in sports, how you start is going to decide how you end. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's say, take a case of a cricket match, yeah,
Mm.
how well you start your innings is going to
Correct.
decide whether you are going to end up on the winning side or losing side, and any other sports. I think
Absolutely.
it actually sets a momentum for the day.
It
So
does. It
I
does.
suppose these words have a lot of meaning for me. They actually time tested and proven, I can say that, and working wonderfully well for me.
Fantastic. So beautifully articulated, Akash. You know what? What is interesting is we wanted Robin Sharma to help us do that because our fathers and grandfathers have been telling this key early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. And we kept listening to it as
So
one nursery rhyme and chodo aisa koi hota nahi hai. We never regarded them as important, right? Right.
correct,
And we also know from the Shastras, the morning 4 to 6 is called Brahma Muhurat. ब्रह्म मुहूर्त
correct,
is where
correct.
everything possible happens very well. लोग जो वेदा पढ़ने जाते थे, गुरुकुल जाते थे, सुबह सुबह उठ के पढ़ाते थे 8 साल के बच्चे को, 9 साल के लड़के को. They would pick up so quickly. All that was known. But I'm so happy that
Correct.
this 5 a.m. club book probably triggered that in Akash, and you became a 5 a.m. person. And what a peace you get, right, when you start the day and you with that momentum. It just gives a thrust,
But
isn't it?
but I suppose if you still look at the number of people who wake up at 5 a.m., I suppose only 5% of the population still has the tenacity to wake up
Absolutely.
at 5 a.m. And
That's the
it's not
word.
about like waking up at 5 a.m. Huh? It's not about waking up at 5 a.m. A
Every
lot of
day.
people can wake up at 5 a.m., but what you do after 5 a.m. is even more important. Yeah. Let's say you
Correct.
wake up at 5 a.m., you have your mobile next to you start checking your inboxes. Once you have checked your emails, you go out, you say, okay, maybe it's time to check Twitter, LinkedIn,
Correct.
Facebook. That's not really the beauty of this 5 a.m.
True.
concept.
True.
5 a.m. club is more about people who wake up at 5 a.m. and what you do beyond 5 a.m. Yeah, 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., which is that victory hour. And for me, I have extended my victory hour. For me, it's 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. So I think a
Fantastic.
lot of people get misled. Oh, I wake up at 5 a.m. My question is good, but that's not really what we want.
क्या करते हो आप?
What did you do after 5 a.m.? I think that is more important.
I know. Can you believe this, Akash? I have a known person who apparently gets up a little early to finish binge watching a couple of Netflix. I mean, that is not 5 a.m. definitely, isn't it? Very
I
nicely
think
said.
he should join he should join our 5 a.m. club.
Oh, he should. He should definitely. Let me ask him to do that. Right. So tell me, through the books, the initial chapters, he talks about multiple things. He talks about the person who inspires and the entire story of three people having conversations. Right, is what runs through the entire book. Right. But what was interesting is the three-step success formula.
Correct.
And I want to ask you, Akash, how do you see this formula powerful? And give us one instance where you actually applied it and saw the benefit. And young minds
Like
can get
this,
inspired from that.
correct. Like this formula is no rocket science. It actually says when you have better awareness,
Mhm,
you make better choices,
mhm.
and when you make better choices, you get better results.
Very
Yeah,
simple.
correct. So it is very simple, but unfortunately, we don't do simple things simple. We have this tendency of overcomplicating things. In
True.
fact, I'm not sure, but I'm sure, like you being such a good book lover, you would have read Simon Sinek's Start with a Why,
Yeah.
correct? So I suppose this is what this formula also talks about. When you say
Yeah.
better awareness, the better awareness gives you the why of what you do. Yeah, if
True.
I'm doing something, what is the why of it? And the
Mm,
moment you get the why of it, I suppose you get that purpose. Yeah,
correct.
once you get that purpose, you get that passion, and then nobody has to motivate or inspire you because now that inspiration comes from within.
Mm,
So now I suppose every single task that I do, I
mm,
actually try to ask myself, what is the why behind it? And
lovely.
once I get to know about the why, I think it automatically gives me that ignition. I get onto the self ignition mode, and I ensure that I give that task the complete focus it deserves. And one area where if you ask me where this worked wonderfully well for me, I will say this last 10 months have also
Mm,
been a major transformation in terms of my physical well-being.
right.
So intellectual well-being, emotional well-being, definitely, but physical well-being has also been one of the great takeaways of last few months. So it was around 31st of August. I started this 5 a.m. routine. Okay,
Mm,
it was already 4 5 months into the 5 a.m. routine, but I was working out quite well in the morning. But
mm,
I realized that I'm still not losing the weight. I'm still not looking the way I wanted to look. Yeah.
mm,
So despite working out so rigorously in the morning, I still had uh, like those extra fat. So then I said, okay, let me try to do something different.
Mm,
And that's when I suppose I realized that more than working out, what is also important is your dietary habits, like
mm,
what you eat, what time of the day you eat
mm,
is actually most critical than anything else.
mm,
And then I suppose I set a goal for myself that I
mm.
am going to be 68 kgs. So then my weight was 78 kgs. Okay.
Wow.
Then I gave myself a target in next 3 months, a very reasonable target. In next 3 months, I'm going to shed 10 kgs and I'm going to be 68 kgs.
Mm,
So, and like once I decide something, and that has been since the childhood, I actually go after it. So I just need a goal, and once a goal is given to me, I think I go
mm,
after it.
mm.
So I gave myself a goal of 68 kgs because I needed that goal. Yeah? If you tell me, Akash, you have to lose weight, somehow that doesn't excite me. You need to give me a specific goal. Yeah. So I
Mm,
said 68 kgs. Okay. Then I lost 68 kgs. So again, not by starving myself, I proper followed diet. I hired a nutritionist. Okay, she gave me a proper dietary plan, gluten-free week, detox-free week. So I followed it to the T. Next 3 months, I followed that dietary plan to the T, and I ensured I hit 68 kgs. Now, after hitting 68 kgs, I still did not get that feeling of accomplishment. 78 kgs to 68 kgs, everybody was saying in my team, Akash, well done. You have inspired us, this and that. But internally, I was still not getting that feeling of
okay.
fulfillment. And
Okay.
I said, like, what is missing? I have lost 10 kgs. Everybody is going gung ho. Like, and it's no mean task to lose 10 kgs in 3 months. But then I re- ask myself and realize probably what is the why behind I was trying to lose this weight.
Mm,
And then I realized the why behind this was I wanted to be the fittest version of myself, the fittest version of myself.
mm,
Now, the losing 60, becoming 68 kgs, does it make me the fittest version of myself? I said, maybe no, maybe I could have been the fittest version of myself even when I was 70 kgs,
correct.
even when I was 72 kgs.
Mm,
So maybe I missed the bigger point. The bigger point of the real why was I wanted to be the fittest version. And 68 kg was maybe a milestone, but this milestone doesn't mean that I actually achieved my end goal.
mm,
And then I suppose I started combining more things. So if it means fittest version, obviously it means I have to look good. Hmm. Plus, I also have to feel good from inside as well.
true.
I should be able to do things which probably a normal person would not be able to do. So probably I need to probably check myself, my physical capacity. Can I do
Mm,
100 push-ups
mm,
uh, in a day? Maybe that defines fitness for me. Can
true.
I run 5 kilometers without huffing and puffing? Maybe
Mm,
that defines fitness for me. So I suppose I started doing more things beyond like going after 68 kg target.
mm,
So for me, that was one real definition of like this three-step success formula. Like once you have better awareness, the better awareness leads to your real why. I will say the
right.
real why.
Right.
Once you have your real why, then you will start making better choices. And once you make better choices, I think results will automatically happen. I think it's an
Beautifully.
outcome.
Beautifully. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy to share this. This is the Akash that he's talking about. So all of you guys have this old Akash here, and then you have the version to Akash from a 78 to a 68, and he definitely looks slim and trim and smarter, which is very good, right? Looking smart is fine, but what is important is that energy that you feel from inside, right? The
Correct.
new you pushes you
Correct.
to do so many more things that you probably wanted to do, but the physical weight kind of dragged you down like a gravity, isn't it? So
Correct, Rajiv. I
this is
think,
very
yeah,
good.
correct. That's what I was talking about. Like I might have looked like a very fit guy,
Right,
but
right.
inside I was still not feeling that that's where I wanted to be. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is so inspiring. And I'm going to see if we can talk to you separately and do something else. Because you know what? One thing that people have done which I never tried, and I'm not fat, I'm fairly fit, that I am. I never tried a nutritionist and all this stuff. Somehow उसमें मुझे belief आया नहीं, but I'm going to take tips from you separately and have a chat on this. Does that help me? If it helps me, why not? Why not?
No, absolutely. The more I share, I suppose the more conviction I also develop in myself.
Absolutely, absolutely. Beautiful. That takes me to the next question, right? Now he talks about a very powerful thing called history makers. And all of us
Hmm.
know there are few history makers in the history. Others were just people who dwelled their life in the history, right? So he talks about four focuses that all history makers have as a pattern. There are many books written by many people. This man has a different perspective. Tell me which is that one focus, or probably two focuses, that you clinged on
Hmm.
after reading a book, because you definitely made history for yourself in 10 months. 68 kgs, being more agile is great.
Hmm.
So what is that
Okay.
one or two focuses that you clinged on to?
In fact, like all the four focus areas are important, but if I have to pick two, my top two, I will say capitalization. So what he means by capitalization, that a lot of people are born with talent, super talent.
Hmm.
Okay. But like if you look at discipline and dedication beats talent and what you say skill anytime, any day. So
Right.
if you're disciplined and dedication, and I suppose that's what the best athletes, the most legendary people,
True.
they can actually boast about. Like these
Hmm.
are the people who have routinized certain good habits, and
Hmm.
because they have routinized good habits, they can actually practice perfection, brilliance over a consistent period of time.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
anybody can produce a flash of brilliance, but a
Hmm.
flash of brilliance will never make you legendary.
Hmm.
What makes you legendary is actually delivering your best over a consistent period of time, and that too for a long time. And that's
True.
what legends are all about. So again, I always tell myself and my team that there's nothing like born with talent. I think everybody has some type of talent, but the people who can make best use of their talent or make best out of life are the ones who basically utilize their potential to the maximum.
Hmm.
These are the people who develop lifetime habits. These are the people who have less bad habits and more of good habits. So habits also play a very important part in our life.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of us have good habits and bad habits, but people who make good habits part of their life are the ones who do much better than anybody else.
True.
So for me, this concept of capitalization, that doesn't matter how talented you are,
Hmm.
it is up to you how much potential of yourself you utilize,
True.
how much consistent you are. In fact, there's a very powerful line that small improvements
Hmm.
done consistently over time lead to stunning results.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
And I suppose that's the beauty of capitalization. And I suppose this is where this power of grit comes. I think a lot of people talk about grit, right? So if there have been researches worldwide which actually show people who have grit, they do much better than people who have talent.
Yeah.
And what is grit? I suppose grit is being able to deliver consistent performances despite adversities, like throughout your life.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
That's the power of grit.
Yeah.
So so first one I will say capitalization. The second one, which I suppose I will say impacted me most, was freedom from distraction.
Ah.
Yeah, yeah. So like so many other people, I also had this habit of like waking up in the morning. The first thing you do is check your inbox. Yeah, then probably the previous day you check your Twitter line if somebody has retweeted your comment, or so, or what has happened. For you read Times of India, all the nonsensical news. There's so many other things that you find all across. But one thing I realized, that if you really want to grow in life,
Oh,
you really need to give yourself that me time, and that
right.
me time is more about your self growth, self development. So
Hmm.
a lot of people may not really, so in fact I was one of the many people who did not really understand the power of or the meaning of self growth or self development. I said, what is this word all about?
Hmm.
Self growth, self development. And I suppose you need to be in that space.
Yeah.
You need to probably take that pause, rewind, recalibrate, and maybe this is where your reading of books actually help you. That
True. True.
once you starting reading books, your perspective, the way you look at things, totally changes. I suppose then you start realizing the importance of your mindset, the heart set, the health set, your soul set, and
Yeah.
that's when the clear definition of self growth or self development comes across.
Right. Right.
So for me, like this is
Capitalization was
again,
one.
and freedom from
Freedom
distraction.
distraction. True,
Yeah,
true. In fact, the freedom from distraction is so important, right? Because for you to capitalize, you need to be distracted from other things that are distracting you. Only then will you be able to
correct,
capitalize. So, in fact,
correct,
I can
correct,
also
correct,
see it
correct.
as freedom from distraction as an input towards moving you to capitalize on your potential.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, like this is a misnomer. A lot of us, we feel that the more we try to do, the more we accomplish. In fact, it's the other way around. I
Mm.
think the more we try to do, the less we accomplish. And a lot of companies, they talk about time management and managing your time. For me, it's not about managing your time. It's about managing your focus.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, we try
Absolutely.
to do so many things at the same time,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
doing a lot of things with a little bit of accomplishment, a little bit of with maybe little bit or no brilliance is actually counts the thing when you focus on few things, but these few things you deliver your best and you actually show
True,
your full brilliance.
true, true.
So it's not about time management for me, it's about focus management.
Absolutely. And focus management also is very right, Akash, because I don't know if you have read the book called Eat the Frog by a person
Yes,
called Brian Tracy, who is a father of time
very
management.
popular. Yeah, yeah.
Very popular, right? And he has written so many books about time management. लोगों को लगता है टाइम मैनेजमेंट का वर्कशॉप है तो छोटा मोटा है, इसके लिए कौन अटेंड करेगा? आप मुझे स्ट्रेटेजिक वर्कशॉप लीडरशिप बुलाओ, मैं आऊंगा, अटेंड करूंगा, because they kind of
Correct.
dilute or talk very less about a time management as a concept, but not realizing it's one of the fundamental leadership essentials. And as you rightly said, Brian Tracy says definition of time management is not about managing time; it's about managing self within the given time.
Absolutely,
It is such a
absolutely.
paradigm shift in the head, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. And a lot of times, so many companies they lose billion of dollars because
Hmm.
of lack of productivity, yeah, because of poor quality. But
True.
if you really dig deep, why there's so much lack of productivity? Why there's lack of quality? Because I suppose most of the people they never live in the present. Let's say
Hmm.
if you're working on a task,
Hmm.
instead of putting your 100% focus on the task, you are probably thinking of two things ahead. Yeah,
True.
or probably you're thinking about what may happen to me in the evening, or what are your plans for the evening. So again, a very important aspect is when you're doing a task, please be in the moment. Yeah, please be in the present.
Correct.
And when you are in the moment, and I think there's also a very popular word which is called mindfulness or
Hmm.
being in the present. There is no doubt, there is not even an iota of doubt that you will not accomplish a task to the best of your
True.
abilities.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That was so beautifully said. It makes a lot of sense. Huh? I think the capitalization bit is very, very powerful. I don't know how many of them capitalize. I really hope, guys, all the young minds listening to Akash here, please go back, pick up this book, read it. If not practice, at least read it, because I can tell you if 10 of you read it, 9 of you will want to join the club. You have two people sitting here who have seen the benefit of it. Please capitalize on your potential. You have a man talking about this in front of you, and you're not talking to Akash, who's 55, 60 years. He's a man who's in his late 30s, early age, and he's done it. I'm sure all of you can do it. Thank you so much, Akash, for doing this here. It's very, very interesting conversation. I'm going to move to the next one from here. From the three-step formula to the history makers we spoke about, I'm going to talk about the words that you already spoke, and he beautifully calls them as the four internal empires. And I love the word empire. So when I read it, I rested back and thought, ki, why did he use such a lofted word called empire? एक छोटा word use कर सकता था Robin, but why did he use such a big word? But as you finish the chapter, you realize the word is apt, right? So I want to
Correct.
ask you, which
Absolutely.
empire was tough for you to conquer, and which was a little easy for you to conquer?
Uh, so, of the four empires, which is your mindset, health set, soul set, and heart set, I will say for me, the easiest to conquer was the heart set. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because again, I will say since the childhood, I have been somebody who is very calm. I have been able to probably manage my emotions. I will not say control my emotions because controlling emotions is not the right word.
Yeah.
Because so I've been able to manage my emotions. Uh, and I suppose this quality has been there with me since the childhood. So for me, this was not a very difficult task.
Hmm.
But one thing which I will say I'm still not able to conquer is the soul set. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I suppose that will always be a work in process.
Yeah.
Works this soul set talks about knowing the real you. Now
Hmm.
we we are actually an output or product of whatever we have experienced so far in life, and what we have experienced, the experiences are like far too many, and these
Hmm.
experiences are good, sometimes bad, sometimes like not really worth remembering, but again every experience does leave an impact on you. So knowing the real you can be the hardest part one can ever think about. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So while I'm trying to do as much meditation as possible,
Hmm.
yeah, I have tried. all types of meditation, active meditation. So there are two types of meditation. One is the monk state, yeah, like a typical a monk meditation where you just close your eyes and you
Yeah.
tell your mind, please don't think anything. Okay.
And it starts
Now,
thinking.
and it starts thinking. And the other one is exactly opposite. The second one is active meditation. Active meditation is you are given a certain task. Yeah. For example, when I'm doing active meditation, I will think about all the things for which I feel gratitude, all the things for which I feel blissful. And then I will think about all people I need to forget,
Hmm.
the experiences I need to forget,
Hmm.
where I'm going to be 6 years from now, 20 years from now. So
Hmm.
this is also type of meditation. Yeah, you close your eyes, you start visualizing. This is the active meditation. So I've been practicing both monk type meditation as well as active meditation. The beauty is initially I really struggled with the monk type meditation because every time I was trying to think nothing, a lot of thoughts came to my mind. But as I started doing active meditation, I realized in a I don't know how I was also able to conquer the monk type meditation as well because
Beautiful.
now I can switch between the two. So,
Beautiful.
but still, this is a work in process. I suppose it might take a lifetime. I don't know,
It may, it
but
may.
yeah, but this is something which I'm constantly evolving, constantly trying to evaluate myself, and will always remain a work in process.
Beautiful. Tell me one biggest benefit, Akash, you had by working on these internal empires of yours in your professional life or a personal life. Give us an example, live example.
Uh, I suppose I will say I can put this under 3 points. One is I'm constantly able to remind myself
Hmm.
all the good things which are happening around me. So in I will again say in the whirlwind of what is happening around us, you tend to forget all the good things that have happened to you
Hmm.
or all the good things that are happening around you.
True.
So when you practice all these four empires, I suppose you constantly remind yourself all the goodness that has
Hmm.
happened to you and all the goodness which is around you. And I think this is where this power of positive thinking,
True.
like venting out all negative feelings from inside, they happen. So that is one point. I suppose I have been able to remind myself all the good things which are happening
Oh,
around me.
beautiful. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Second, I will say I constantly challenge myself, like
Hmm.
because there are so many things, so many people around you who are doing wonderfully well in some way, in some aspect of life.
Hmm.
So when you become aware of these four empires, I
Hmm.
suppose you started connecting better with people.
Hmm.
Uh, you start, what do you say, venting out all the negative vibes. You start mistrusting people. I think if there's somebody better than you, you probably recognize that this guy, this I can learn more from him rather than look upon him with a lot of envy. Yeah.
True.
So
True.
this also helps me challenge myself. And the third and last but not least, which I will say is probably I can share so much with my team. So and I always say sharing is the best part of learning.
True.
So when I focus on my heart set, mindset, health set, and soul set, I have so much to share with my team, and I feel so fulfilled that
True.
I can actually share and make a positive difference to their life.
Absolutely. So beautifully said that. Akash, you know what? I want to, my mind is running as I'm listening to you, Akash, and I want to on record compliment you here that I've not come across sales front end revenue generating roles like you and leaders. You manage field operations, a huge function, right? For me, salespeople have always been only running behind numbers. For them, many amount of such things are gyan. Call them for training workshop, they say time waste. Anything like this, reflection, deep reflection, reading are all habits which I've seen very, very less in few salespeople. I suppose you agree to that. They just run behind numbers because that's the only focus for them to become the best salesman, get the award from the CEO, and have those awards on the desk. I keep telling them, guys, there are so much that you can do to enable yourself to achieve that as against running behind that. And I'm talking to someone today who is a salesperson, who is in that front revenue generating role, would have all those month end pressures, would have all those big calls coming from the CEOs in terms of numbers, would have customers beating you left, right, center for service not happening. Yet, a calm and composed salesperson is a misnomer for me. And thank you for breaking that belief in me that a salespeople can't be calm and composed. It's just wonderful, Akash. I don't know how do you do that. Maybe this
Thank you
reading
for
of
that.
books
Thank
has helped you.
I suppose this. I will again say probably practicing these four empires. So
Yeah.
again, unless you practice, you will not realize the power of this. And I suppose that's where I suppose people who are watching this 5 a.m. club, if they
Fantastic.
pick up this book, I'm sure this book will bring about a very positive difference to their
Beautiful.
life.
I'm going to make a request on the call here. I'm working on an intervention for an organization. When the right time comes, I'm going to request you to come as a guest and share how salespeople can become what you are, not just be the number running rats.
Sharing is learning, Rajiv. Yeah. So if
It'll
you
be a
ask me to
pleasure
share
to have you that
something,
time.
I will also learn a lot myself.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's so beautiful. I'm going to write the name of a book that you should definitely pick and read, which I recently read. One of the guests had picked up the book, where a lady almost experienced a near death experience and came out of that and could
Mhm.
successfully somewhere conquer the soul set. This could probably help you one step moving towards your effort of conquering the soul set. So I'm going to write the name of the book and send it to you after this call. I'll take a pic and send it to you.
Like sounds very interesting, and I look forward.
Yeah, maybe you would have read it or you would have picked it, but I'll send it to you. The book is called Dying to Be With Me by a person called Anita Murjani. I'll send the name of this book to you. This is how the book looks like. I'll take a pic and send it to you.
Thank you.
All right. Lovely. So I'm going to go to the next one. Uh, Internal empires conquering, you spoke about, right? Which takes us to a very powerful thing, which you spoke about, the habits. And Marshall Goldsmith in his book, What Got You Here Won't Get You There, talks about 20 powerful habits. Stephen Covey talks about 7 habits. It's all about habit, habit, habit. Technically, that is what is discipline that you spoke about, right? Now, Robin also talks about a concept called a habit installation protocol. I like that phrase called habit
Correct.
installation protocol. Protocol matlab, there is no negotiation on it. अब झक मार के follow करो.
It's a rule, huh?
It's a
Rule that
rule.
cannot be broken.
Absolutely. So you have to follow it.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be sent to the gallows. That kind of a
Correct.
word it is. How did you apply this? And tell us a little about this protocol.
Yeah. I think this protocol talks about the 66-day challenge.
Mm.
And again, this 66-day challenge is not something which Robin Sharma has invented in this book. Scientifically, also, it's proven that if you want to develop a new habit, it takes 66 days. So, how Robin describes the 66 days in his book is first 22 days is destruction. So, all of us have bad habits, correct? So, if you have to develop new habit, you have to get rid of the old habits.
Right.
And in fact, it says it is also said old habits die hard. Old habits die hard,
Yeah.
correct? So first 22 days is destruction of old habits. Okay. Next 22 days is installation, which is like you are trying to develop a new habit,
New
so you
habit.
start practicing it. And the last 22 days is integration.
Mm.
Yeah? In fact, all change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end. So you
Beautiful.
can directly correlate. So messy is your first 22 days. Okay. Hard in the middle is your installation. And the last 22 is the gorgeous ending.
Lovely.
Yeah. So I think it also helps you develop that willpower. In fact, I will
Mm.
tell you, it was not a cakewalk for me. Yeah?
I'm
So
sure.
66 days waking up at 5 a.m. takes a lot out of you because there are certain days, as you said, month end closing. Next day, I have to make a presentation. I have a difficult customer call. I have a CEO visiting. I think it was more of in the middle of COVID, but you still had a lot of calls with the CEOs and top management as well, customer calls as well,
Right.
and business. It was business as usual as well because we were expected to deliver top numbers. Like with we having the top team in the industry, the top teams are expected to deliver top numbers as well. So high
Right.
expectations, but it was hard, not at all easy for me. But I remember there were several instances where I told myself, like my eyes will actually open up at 5 a.m. Okay, my mind will tell me, Akash,
5 मिनट
आज जो है ना, आज
पाँच
आज सो जाओ, हाँ,
5 मिनट
आज
और
हाँ अपनी 5 मिनट और, कई बार ऐसा भी होता है आज संडे है, हाँ, उठ रहे हो आज संडे, सो जाओ या आधे घंटे और सो जाओ. Then immediately my mind would challenge itself. It will say, Akash, 95% people are thinking exactly the same way कि आज सो जाओ, आज संडे है. Do you want to be the part of that 5% extraordinary
beautiful.
who are going to defeat their mind, ना मतलब overcome their thoughts and
Yeah.
going to jump out of the bed? Are you going to be part of that 5% extraordinary, or do you want to be part of that 95% who are going to give them hundreds of excuses why not to wake up.
Yeah, right.
And that one thought, and I suppose every time I came across this thought, I said 5%, 95%. Matlab my mind will also automatically,
Kudo, jump off the
like a
bed.
five, I'm the 5% exponent, I would jump out of the bed. So 66 days I practice this. And I think after 66 days, your willpower is like a muscle, right? The more you flex it, the stronger it becomes. So I flexed my willpower for 66 days. After 66 days, my body was conditioned to wake up at 5 a.m.
Lovely. So I'm going to ask you an input. Tell me this. This is again my personal experience, which could help others also. I'm a 5 a.m. person. I've always been rising up early in my life. My father would
Fantastic.
wake up early. I have always been waking up early. I can never stay late. मेरे घर में मेरा बच्चा बोलता है आप मेरे साथ बैठ के टीवी देखिए 10 बजे से मूवी देखना शुरू करेंगे by 11 I'm like dozed off. I can't stay awake.
Correct.
Right. At 5 a.m. I wake up, I have my morning routine, and then I go for my workout. So 5:30 I'm in the gym, right? And I work out till 7. Now, when there is some work, when I'm working on 2-3 projects, there's a proposal to be submitted, there's something that happens, and I've got a lot of things through the day. I use 1 or 2 days in that morning, 1.5 hours, when mind is very fresh, to put some thoughts. At 5 a.m. I get up and do that. So वहाँ पे वो workout 1-2 दिन miss हो जाता है. Do I need to feel guilty or do I feel it's okay?
No, I think it's okay, right? Like you must also start embracing uncertainties. I think I have a lot of personal assertions. So one personal assertion which I apply to myself is embrace uncertainties.
Right.
And because your life is never going to be smooth, there will be ups and downs. So there will be odd occasions where you will miss the 5 a.m. routine. I might wake up at 5 a.m., but like let's say that day I have a body ache or if I have high fever, I cannot like fool myself. Nahi, aaj to mere ko karna hai. I am somebody, so I will start practicing. There will be odd occasions, and that's what I tell myself. There will be uncertainties. You must embrace it rather than resisting them. You must embrace the uncertainties. And once you get that thought process, I suppose, as you mentioned, Rajiv, wherever you would have missed that would have been for a very genuine reason, right?
Yeah. And I don't have to feel guilty about it.
Yeah, you don't have to feel guilty about it.
Thank
I
you
think
for
that's
that.
what I do.
Thank you for that, because last 2 दिन से workout नहीं हुआ. I've been working on a proposal, including today morning. I thought I'll ask this question to Akash today on the call.
नहीं. As long as it's you embrace it, मैं बोलता हूँ कोई भी खराब चीज़ है ना उसको resist मत करो. Embrace करो. I think you will not feel bad.
Absolutely, you're right. All days can't be the same day, right? Sometimes कुछ ना कुछ हो जाएगा. Lovely, beautiful. This is such a lovely conversation. I'm going to take you to the last but one, the 20-20-20 formula. What is the magic of this 20-20-20?
Again, now this time I will share the scientific thought process which Robin has given, right?
Please.
So he says we have two parts of the brain. One is your what he calls the ancient brain. He says ancient brain is the part of the brain which we had developed like during when we were primitives, during primitive ages. Yeah.
Right.
So this part of the brain, or the what he calls the ancient brain, is actually conditioned to find out all the dangers which is in the environment, because in primitive times, like we were exposed to all types of dangers.
Okay.
Yeah, tigers, like weather, flooding, cold, heat. Yeah? So for your survival was based on identifying dangers in the environment, in the surrounding. So this ancient brain has stuck with us. So like while we have evolved, this ancient brain has always stuck with us. Now, but then over a period of time, like as we have evolved, we have developed what we call the prefrontal cortex. Now, this prefrontal cortex is the side of the brain which is responsible for your rational thinking, for your analytical thinking, for creativity. Now, imagine you have two parts of the brain. एक बोलता है find out what is wrong in the environment, all the dangers. Then you have the new brain which has developed now, which says creative सोचो, कुछ नया करो. Now you can imagine, एक बोला है danger और कुछ नया करने क्रिएटिव सोचने में हमेशा एक डेंजर रहता है, राइट? कि अगर मैं करने जा रहा हूँ क्या होगा. There is always that element of surprise. There is always that unknown element when you do something new, when you take risk. तो जैसे ही unknown element आता है, this side of the brain says, the ancient brain says, oh, risk, danger. So these two brains are always in conflict. So what Robin Sharma says, at 5 a.m. in the morning, these two states or these two brains are in a sleeping zone for a very small time, but they are in a sleeping zone. And this is the best time that you can enter into a flow state. You know, a lot of times, what is a flow state? कई बार you would have also experienced, कभी क्रिकेट खेलने गए, उस दिन क्रिकेट खेलने गए, हर दिन बॉल जो है बैट के मिडिल पे आ रही है. You go and play tennis one day. That day, everything was hitting center of your racket. Yeah, you feel so good. You go and play golf. One day golf can be so bad, everything is going out of bounds, and
Hmm.
other day golf, you are everything is, you are hitting birdies, everything is going like as if like you have been practicing for ages. So
True.
everything's perfect. So that's a flow state. So he says when you wake up in the morning, you have that flow state for a certain amount of time, and this is when you can probably conquer all your fears.
Hmm.
So you can, your creativity element will come out. In fact, he also looks at the hormones. Like you have serotonin, which is a hormone of happiness.
Hmm.
So at that time, serotonin increases. Then you have dopamine. Dopamine is a hormone for inspiration. So
True.
dopamine also increases. Cortisol, which is a hormone for fear, that is actually is at the highest level in the morning. But when you do meditation, when you practice this routine, it actually reduces. So
Hmm.
now you start your day, instead of having the highest amount of cortisol, you have a, like you actually lower the amount of cortisol in your body.
Hmm.
So all these things, I suppose, ensure that all, even your neurotransmitters are working, your mind is in a flow state. So that's actually the beauty of your 2020. So first 20 minutes, you do a workout, you ensure all your hormones are controlled, you, and then next 20 minutes, you do meditation. In meditation, you enter the flow state, you ensure all your ancient brain and the prefrontal
Conflicts are
cortex,
settled.
this, the, yeah, conflict को side में हटाओ, and you start looking at the creative side of you. And then the last 20 minutes is more about growth, your self growth. We always say, where is my me time? That is your me time. Yeah, you
Hmm.
use that 20 minutes. Your mind has just meditated. Yeah, you are now in a very creative mood.
Hmm.
Sare hormones, they're all balanced. So
Hmm.
what can be a better time to grow? Hmm?
True.
So now this is how you grow. So मैं क्या करता हूँ, मेरा 2020 है, first 20 workout, next 20 is my reflection, which is meditation. जो last 20 है, that I extend. मैं वो कहता हूँ यार, जब मेरे को सब कुछ मैंने कंट्रोल कर लिया, हार्मोन कर लिए, मैंने अपना सब फ्लो स्टेट में आ गया, तो why only 20? Let me just work for next 60 minutes.
Makes
Let
sense.
me just let me grow myself for next 60 minutes. So
Fantastic.
for me it's 20 20 60.
Beautiful. Tell me one biggest work benefit that you had because of this in your role.
Like I always felt कि हम, मेरा ही नहीं, काफी लोगों का था कि the longer you work, the harder you work, the better you get.
Hmm.
मेरे को उसके बाद realize है, this is a complete misnomer. It's not about the harder and longer you work. In fact, again मैं उसी focus वाले point पे जाता हूँ.
Hmm.
So I normally work for 60 minutes. Okay. Then I give myself time to recover. Whatever activity I do, I give myself time to recover. So 60 minutes, then I give myself 10 minutes to recover. That can be maybe going out for a walk, coffee पी ली, जो भी कर लिया. But then I have stopped believing कि यार जितना ज्यादा काम करो, जितना लंबा काम करो, the better you are. For me, work effectively, work smarter, and give yourself some time to recover.
True. True.
So I suppose ये ऐसी चीज है जो मैंने I started practicing, and it started paying some very good dividends.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Akash. This was such a lovely conversation. I don't want to end this, but for constraint of time of the format, I have to end it. Having said that, I want to come to the last one. Tell me, not tell me, tell the young leaders, right? Two powerful bullseye, razor sharp inputs that you want to give from the 10 tactics of a lifelong genius that Robin Sharma talks about. Pick up two and tell the young minds कि ये अगर ये लोग cling on करके practice करें, they'll be able to see the results and benefits that you and me wanted to see when we were young. And
Correct.
we know that we delayed it, and they can start earlier than us.
I think one I will say is the 90-91 principle. Okay, so the 90-91 principle says for next 90 days, for first 90 minutes of your day, do that one thing which is going to make the maximum impact in your life, which is going to make you stand out from everybody else. So I will again repeat, for next 90 days, for first 90 minutes of your day, do that one thing which is going to make you stand out from everybody else.
Beautiful.
Okay, so that is 90-91 principle. The second one is the 60 minutes student. So this says that every day, doesn't matter how busy you are, yeah, how good your or bad your day is, always give those 60 minutes to yourself for your personal growth, for your self growth, self development. 60 minutes in 24 hours is not asking too much.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, these two, like, it's not only about people who are watching this. In fact, even my family members, I have been like, I wanted to actually my kids to start developing this habit right from day one. Yeah? Like, because the earlier you realize the importance of this, the potential of this, I
Yeah,
suppose the farther you will go in life.
absolutely. 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 Thank you so much, Akash. So 1991 and the 60 minutes are two powerful lessons from Akash to all the young minds, guys. First step, please go pick up this book and read it, finish it, and start implementing it. And if you have any difficulty in implementing any of the practices without seeking permission from Akash, I'm making an announcement here. Connect with him on LinkedIn. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to help you guys as a coach.
Always available.
Thank you so much, Akash. It was such a pleasure having a conversation on this book. Thank you for
Thank
accepting
you,
the
Rajiv.
invitation, coming on board, and doing this for us. I had a lovely time having this conversation. I hope you had a
Same
good
here.
time.
Same here. Same here. Again, thanks for inviting me, and look forward to see you in person soon.
Absolutely. Thank you. Let's continue waking up at 5 a.m. And after this call, I'm going to send you that Anida Murjani's book image, and I'm going to, in response, wait for the pic of that bookshelf behind you.
That is coming in your WhatsApp. Check it now.
Super. You have a good day
Thank
ahead.
you. Okay,
Bye.
you too. Thank you. Thanks,
I'm
Rajiv.
talking to Sheetal today after you.
Oh, best of luck. All the best.
In the
Thanks.
evening. Lovely. I'm having two Schindler people today. That's fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Rajiv.
Lovely. You have a lovely
Have
day
an
ahead.
awesome day.
Oh,
Cheers.
yes. You have a good day. Bye.